Now, one of the other big stories of the day, by a mile. Oh, God. Nearly 7... I know this is only London, but you've got to listen to this. And if you don't live in London, you're bloody lucky because you don't have to put up with Sadiq Khan. Nearly 700,000 car drivers in London will face an extra daily charge of £12.50. It's an ultra-low emission zone fee, Ulez. The scheme is going to expand, according to new analysis. The RAC, which carried out the research, said the expansion of the zone from August of 29 will have a massive financial impact on motorists and businesses. There's another way to kick a small business in the backside. It comes a day after TfL, Transport for London, claimed that 9 out of 10 cars seen driving in outer London on an average day meet the Ulez standards, so will not be liable for the charge. To talk about this in great detail, somebody knows all about motoring. Well, that's what he tells me. Top Gear presenter and journalist, friend of the show, Quentin Willson. Quentin, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Morning, Jeremy. Fine. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm not Sadiq Khan's greatest fan because I think he screwed up many of my dear, dear friends who drive black cabs. What do you make of this Ulez expansion scheme, Quentin?
So, look, as you know, I'm a great supporter of electric cars, and low emission zones are a good thing. I've also got a house in London, and the curtains are black with particulate emissions from diesels. But now is not the time. You know, ONS said that the economy is not in the rude health that the government claims. We've got the interest rate right. We've got rises in tax. You've got this pressure on the economy. You know, the banks looking peaky. You've got to pause this, because if you don't, that extra charge is going to be such a drag on the economy. It's going to be a real head doer for people in London, especially those with low income jobs who have got to go into London and have to use their cars. So I would suggest absolutely that this is paused, that we consider, we listen to the economic music at the moment and say, to put that pressure on consumers and businesses in London is absolutely the wrong thing to do right now. And then let's look at ways, flexible ways of doing this, but not at such a draconian way. I mean, those RAC figures, 700,000 people, that's a hell of a lot. And
I mean, it is, and it comes back to something, Quentin, we've been talking about all morning, and we don't have to get political with you, but it seems that certain people in powerful positions, be they prime ministers or mayors of London, don't seem to understand what the everyday person who is struggling, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face, is going through. If it's not a mortgage tax increase rate, if it's not a small business energy loan scheme thing being ended, whether or not it's we've got to pay for this or we've got to pay for that, now motorists are going to be screwed again. And whilst it is important, as you quite rightly say, about emissions and all of that, I want people to understand in power that they don't seem to be listening to what people are saying. Right now, it's hard for people. Right now, people can't afford it. And this is another kick. I mean, with this on top of the charge to come into London is 30 quid. I mean, where does that leave people, Quentin? What does that say to the motoring industry?
It's people on lower income jobs,
yes.
NHS, factory people, admin people, office people, those people who really are struggling to make ends meet, and they're going to be hit hardest. And your point about politicians being out of touch, well, what's new? But they seem to be particularly out of touch at the moment because we've got this culture of narcissistic politics, where it's not about the benefit of the country, it's about personal agendas. So we need to sort of say, look, connect with real people and understand what real people are going through right now. And if you talk to people, as I do, they are really struggling, and it's a choice between eating, heating.
But you know, Quentin, right? I've been saying this for 6 months, and when I say that to people, they go, "Oh, come on." No, genuinely, people all over the place, you're right, have made decisions where they have to eat less or give their food to their kids so that they can afford to put petrol in their car before those prices went up. Oh, that's just been frozen. That's great for a while. But people to do the school run. And I think that, you know, what interests me about this particular scheme, I know I hate just talking about London because I think the media can become London-centric, and I think we have to talk about the regions. But this will be something that's expanded out. I just think that I think there's a lot of deafness, and I genuinely think that people are getting to a point where they don't know where the next kick in the backside's coming from, and this seems to be another one, in my humble opinion.
I think you're right, and I spent a lot of time talking to ministers and MPs, and they do kind of that, you know, and you do worry that they're not listening and they have their answers, and it's about, you know, their personal image rather than policies that actually benefit people, the important people in this country. And we need a reset. We really, really do need to understand that connecting with ordinary people and understanding the trauma, and I think absolutely that's the right word at the moment, the trauma they're going through is understood.
I completely agree. You're a fan of Ulez, but not right now, would be the answer.
Yeah, but it needs flexibility. I mean, the RAC have said, look, let's look at this really carefully and see how we don't disadvantage people, but improve air quality. And this lump hammer that they're using at the moment is not the right way. Let's look at it again and see if we can help people to drive low emission cars in a different way rather than expecting them to go and spend a huge amount of money on a brand new car tomorrow.
You're a legend. I'll tell you one day that I dreamt about you one night. We were driving a car around Silverstone. It's very weird. Quentin Willson, I know, bizarre. Thank you very much indeed. 9